Hey, this is Ari, and in this video, you're going to see a little clip from a podcast I did with Dr. Keisha Ewers on how trauma is linked with gut health and brain health and hormonal health and energy levels. So I strongly encourage you, check out this clip and make sure you go deeper on this topic by clicking the link below this video to watch the full-length episode. Enjoy.
And so working with all those comes into this ABC 1, 2, 3 component, okay? So I always say the A is knowing your adverse childhood experiences. That means that you've spent some time to really look at this little kid part of you and say, oh, what did you make up about that experience with an undeveloped brain, that we can go back and look at and say, and I use myself to track because it's easy. I had some sexual abuse at the hands of a vice principal when I was 10. Okay. And if I go back to that and I think about the meaning I made up in that experience without a fully developed brain, right? It made sense to the 10-year-old version of myself, but it was definitely linked to my later rheumatoid arthritis, which, by the way, I was able to reverse within 6 months by doing this very thing. I went back and I said, oh my gosh, I made up a meaning that said the adults in this world that are in charge of children can't be trusted, which was accurate for that little tiny space, right? And that the belief that I created from that was I have to be perfect to even survive, because he was telling me it was my fault, I was a bad kid. So I became, the behavior that you will put to that belief is your adaptive behavior response. I became a perfectionist. Like, I was really good at being perfect and would drive myself to perfection, right? Because it was based on survival. And so it's unhooking that very intense feeling of I have to do this to survive over, oh, nobody really wants a medical provider that isn't a perfectionist, by the way, right? And so it's like, oh, I can turn this on when I want it and turn it off when I'm parenting or I'm with my spouse. And it's not a driving force for survival. There's a real difference there in energy. And so when I was able to land on that and go in and really heal that trauma, it made all the difference. So it's really knowing your adverse childhood experiences doesn't end with that part of it. It's also, well, what did you believe about yourself in that moment? And is it still true? Because usually it's not. Right? So
hey, this is Ari. I hope you enjoyed this video. And one more thing before you go. Actually, two more things. One is, if you enjoyed this particular little clip, the link to the full-length podcast is in the description down below. So make sure to check that out. Also, one more thing. Let me ask you a question. What if I could show you how to double your energy levels and dramatically improve your brain function, reducing your anxiety and depression to a degree on par with antidepressant drugs, but without the side effects? Sound pretty interesting? Well, there are, in fact, numerous compounds that can do this, that have been shown to do this. And I'll take you through just a few of these very briefly. One of them is rhodiola rosea. And this has been shown in studies, rhodiola rosea extract, in people with stress-related fatigue and exhaustion, to cut their levels of fatigue and brain fog in half in less than a month. Just this one compound. There's another compound in my formula Energenesis called NT factor phospholipids that's been shown to help repair mitochondrial membranes and mitochondrial health to the level of healthy 29-year-olds, taking people with deteriorated mitochondria who are over the age of 65, restoring it to the level of healthy 29-year-olds. And that has been shown in numerous studies in various types of chronic fatigue, aging-associated chronic fatigue, obesity-related chronic fatigue syndrome, to increase energy levels by 30 to 45% in the span of 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the specific study. So dramatic improvements in a very, very short period of time. Two more compounds that are amazing, I highly recommend, that are in my formula Ultra Brain, along with rhodiola rosea. Saffron extract. This has been shown to increase levels of, improve your mood, I should say, and decrease levels of depression on par with fluoxetine, which is Prozac. And not only that, but with fewer side effects. It's much safer and much less likely to cause negative effects than antidepressant drugs are. Acetyl L-carnitine is another compound that's been shown to dramatically improve brain health in older adults. It also improves energy levels in older adults with chronic fatigue by between 40 to 50% in just the span of 2 to 4 months. And the last thing I'll mention here is acetyl L-carnitine has also been compared to antidepressant drugs and been shown, like saffron, to be as effective as antidepressant drugs in combating depression, but without the harmful side effects that so often occur with the drugs. So this is just a small sampling of the over 35 compounds that are in my formulas, Energenesis and UltraBrain, that are all proven to dramatically improve energy levels, mitochondrial health, and brain health, and much, much more. And I highly recommend that you go check these out. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety or brain fog, if you're struggling with stress-related exhaustion and burnout, if you're struggling with chronic fatigue, go check out these formulas, give them a shot. I promise you are going to be blown away by the results. And like I said, the science has already proven that these things work. So you don't have to just take my word for it. There's lots of research to support that, and I'll even link to some of that research down below so you can verify everything that I just said for yourself. So the links to those studies will be in the description for this video down below. So check them out. Check out the formulas on the energyblueprint.com. Again, Energenesis is the mitochondrial formula, and UltraBrain is our brain formula. Check them out, try them out, and I think you're going to be blown away by the results. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again soon.